Hi, we're AWM, and we had a fabulous video called Three Reasons People Don't Stay in Africa. And we're really grateful for all of you for sharing that video with each other and watching it and all that good kind of stuff. We're blessed and we're grateful for the traction that video got, aren't we?
Yes, I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah, so thanks for that. So now that we've been on the continent, which has 54 plus countries or so, and we've been here almost 4.5, whatever years, we thought we would sit down with you. And instead of just me and Marlene, the two of us, we're going to have all the four of us talk about why do people stay in Africa? Because obviously we have stayed. So we're going to talk about that and let you know what our thoughts are.
One of the things that has kept me in Africa, the reason I'm staying and not leaving, is Eve, Evelyn. If you're a longtime subscriber, you know at the time of recording this, that's my fiance. That's a blessing to be able to say. Go ahead.
Oh, wait a minute, hold on. This slow mo. This
We're gonna be jockeying for the mic sometimes. So
people ask, can you find love? So
Right.
Are you saying you found love on a two-way street? No,
we're in a hopeless place. That's one of Evelyn loves that song. But y'all know by Rihanna. Yeah. I found love. I'm reminded I met her our first year here on the continent, here in East Africa. Sometimes it blows my mind because we lived in two countries inside the same year. So it messes with my time sometimes. We were in one area for a year, another area for a little while. And we had moved to this new development here in East Africa. And what are we doing? Trying to figure out the new pace of life after spending such a long time in the other country. And I'm doing my work and doing things, and I almost missed her. We did a little short on our personal couple channel about that, and it's funny to think about in hindsight.
Me and Mom saw her first, right?
Yes, and we knew.
And
We
Daniel.
saw. We could tell.
Yeah, so because she came over to do your hair, right?
Yes, I believe she did, either mine or dad's. So yeah, it was great meeting her in those early days. And I think real quick, what you touched on is really important because as Josiah is saying, we moved from one country to another. Again, dad said there's over 50 something countries. And so we had to really adjust and embrace the new culture so much so Josiah almost missed it.
Right. Like paying for things one way, paying for things another way here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to reiterate what you said on adjust because where we were before, it was the language was a little different. Getting to understand the language and everything, and I think people were a little more subdued, not necessarily, I'm not saying they weren't friendly, but they were just more kind of laid back. Whereas here, it seemed more open, a little more welcoming. I guess it was just a different. So that's the environment was a little bit different.
100%. Yeah. And so, Evelyn, love you, hun. Gonna be married by the end of this month. Again, the time we're recording this, the Most High just really showed up. She's such a comforting, loving, hilarious person. I love how she's tight with my whole family. Shout out to Ethan and Matthew. Matthew was just here. Again, if you're a longtime subscriber, you saw him a few weeks ago, and it warmed my heart that he and Evelyn finally got to meet. Evelyn and her siblings that live here in the development with us. They were looking forward. We were telling them all the time, Matthew's coming. The days are counting down. He's getting his leave together and all of that. And Evelyn was a big part of Matthew enjoying his time here. And she has her own. Oh, there she is right there.
Hello.
I don't know what I was saying about it, but
All good things. So yeah, so that was Evelyn right there. And again, I just love how she's tight with all of y'all. She just needs to meet Ethan next. So do y'all actually anyway. But she just fell right into the family. I also fell right into her family. I love that I have her mother's love and respect. I love her mom so much. I'm so glad y'all had gotten to meet already.
Yeah, it was fun to have her mom come over to the house, and some of her brothers and sisters and her nieces and so forth. So yeah.
Change your hesitancy, anxiety, and not knowing where to start into a thorough move abroad plan. Whether you've traveled the world or just got your passport, Members Only is for you. For less than 2 cups of Starbucks coffee a month, you get the cultural competence, budget, the plan, and the must-have tools to make it happen. No more guessing. Welcome to Members Only. Join at the link in the description. Now, let's get back into the video.
So one of the things that I like and why I want to stay in Africa is the community. That was my first bullet, and the children. So some of the children are neighbors' children, and when I say children, I mean like what are they? 10 years old, Marlene? 9 years old, and it's nice to. For them, they might have any special event and get them a toy or something. Or you went to the elementary school.
Right. One of our friends, her son was, I think, going from, like kindergarten,
grade.
first grade, something like that. And they had all the family there. And you got to go into the different classrooms and to see what they had been doing. They did little presentations, and then we ate really good food afterwards. So, and then they got awards and things like that, So that was really nice, just seeing the environment and the family and how they do things. That was really nice. I really enjoyed that.
So on this community I'm talking about, for me, it's seeing children like when in the early 60s when I was a kid and you were in the streets and you were playing outside making noise and you didn't come home till the street lights came on. And so I hadn't seen that in a long time. And it was nice to see it here. It's nice to see the kids riding their bikes up and down. You playing basketball. I've been out there a little bit shooting hoops with them. Also to have our new nieces and so forth to come over. And so we're getting things for them like coloring books. So they got a set. They took some with them. Then when they come over, they know where their drawer is. They go get their stuff. They do their coloring. It was that welcoming feeling of community, which also includes, then I'll let somebody else speak, being invited over somebody from Oman's house, Uncle Saeed, and to sit down and have a cup of coffee, or Mr. Ali, also from Oman. So to sit with people who, some of them may have spent years in the States and worked there, but they're also from their home country and here living in our development, that sense of welcoming feels good.
I was going to say also, when we were first here, a young lady we met, it was her birthday. And I think we'd only been here like maybe 2 months. And then it was her birthday, and she's from Jamaica. And so she had a lot of people come through. People bring food. She cooked a lot of Jamaican food. So it was really nice meeting people, and like you said, from Oman, from the UK, from all over the place. And a lot of those people are still here. Some have moved on. So that was really nice. Just the welcoming, the community, and everybody's talking about, their journey and things that they've gone through. So that was really nice.
Yeah, for me, one of mine is also community, and just how like neighborly everyone is here where we currently live. I go out and I play basketball also with a lot of the people who are here, and we get to catch up and just see how they're doing. I think it's a nice rest for them after work. It's a nice rest for me too, to like kind of wind down and just kind of enjoy the evening, like the sunset and everything. It's just beautiful. Also, just how kind everyone. Like when I say neighborly, I just mean like even beyond where we live, people are neighborly. I had this wonderful visit to the mall one time where I was meeting up with someone, and I ran into this, I think he's a professor, and we happened to share a conversation over someone that we saw. So for me, it's also the community and how kind everyone is here, even outside of where we currently live at the house. I had a fantastic trip to the mall one time where I sat down. I was waiting for someone, and I shared this great conversation with, I think he was a professor. He was just telling me about what he does and asking me, who I am, what inspired me to come here. And it was just this lovely interaction. I'll play basketball with the neighbors and we'll bond over that. It's just it's very welcoming. Like everyone's neighborly. Like it was also a great time when Matthew visited, as we got to introduce him to many of our neighbors and take him to we have like a market that happens here, and like all the neighbors come out, and people come from they come from other parts of the country that we live in, and it's like, oh, here's Matthew, or we'll take him to there's like a bike shop where we live as well. And so everyone is so kind and they're like, oh, there's another son. Okay. Because they always just see Josiah and I. And these are people that we see almost daily or weekly. And that's where that community hits for me. That's a big thing.
So I love that as well, just the warmness and how kind everybody is. That also reminds me of like Evelyn talking about where she grew up, and that gets into like, I love the access and travel we've done throughout the continent so far. Been to places like Uganda and South Africa and Kenya, for example. Evelyn's from a place called Ngorongoro Crater, and all the animals you grew up loving, more or less, they're all here in Africa. The lions, the gorillas, the buffalo, crocodiles, you name it, the giraffes. And she talks about how it's like not a literal oasis, but it's like it's a paradise in Ngorongoro Crater where she came up. We've been on other nature safaris, like ocean safaris. Y'all have been in Nairobi.
Right.
We've been like the zoo where we took Matthew, or in Joburg when we went to Krugersdorp. I love, again, the access. Like when we went to Uganda, shout out to Mama Ruth and Grace Villa Sanctuary, where we met her young students. They danced for us. We saw like Bunyani.
Oh, on Mama Ruth and her Grace Villa school there, one thing feels good for me, and that is, so when I worked for the government, you would have this campaign near the end of the year where you made a contribution. I forget what it's called now. I've been retired, but the point is you could have a portion of your salary or a lump sum, whatever you want to do, given on a continuous basis to some charity. And one of the things they do advise, they would show you on the chart when you get this booklet of whichever charity you want to pick, is so much of what you contribute goes to administrative fees, so much of it goes directly to the actual charity. And one thing I like is to be able to actually touch the person. I saw the children dance. I know who she is. We talked to her. You've even interviewed her and so forth.
On this channel.
Exactly. And so it just the opportunity to give is present all the time, and you can actually touch the people.
You really can. And that's just beautiful. I remember years ago, I had written in a journal like this one that a goal was to visit Africa. I think it was in that Pat Flynn book, Will It Fly? And I found that just prior to us moving, it said, visit Africa. Little did I know, I'd be living on the continent. I'd be exploring different countries. And you're like 3,000+ miles away from the United States. So sometimes it can feel so far away, but now we smack dab on the continent. It was like, oh, do we want to go to Morocco?
Yeah.
Do we want to go to Botswana? Do we want to go? And it's like you were saying, you can touch Miss Ruth and see the impact you're making. You can touch these different places and they don't feel like pipe dreams at all.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that keeps me here on the continent.
Yeah. I think the other thing for me is that it's very peaceful. Where we've come from in the States, everything's fast. They call it microwave. Everything's fast. Whereas here, it's very easy. It's very slow. It's not like you feel I got to get this done. You can just go at your own pace. And I really like that. And the fact that we are retired really helps because I don't have deadlines and things like that. But even if I had things to do, I just take my time. Even the guys, the things that they do, they're going at their own pace and everything. And I really like that. I mean, you hear the birds all the time, and you don't have the hustle and bustle of a lot of different things that are pollutants, like buildings that have the different industries and things like that going on. We don't necessarily have that going on, and so it's just a totally different environment. It's an area where people say you can just write a book in. Like you think in the States, people go to other places, to the ocean or other places, to the mountains or whatever. But here it's just all out in the open. And I really love that. I really just love that I can just be at peace, be at rest. And I'm thinking more. You can think more and be creative more. And that are the things that I really, really enjoy.
And no one's like rushing you guys or anything. Right. I mean, yeah, there's the culture shock of, oh, how do we pay for things here? Or what's the pace of living or something like that? That's just us trying to get immersed in something. But you're not a we were watching Stephanie Pear, and she was like, you're a worker, you're a
Yeah.
worker bee. That's your identity. That's everywhere, but we thankfully haven't experienced that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think another thing is that I feel more respected here. I think a lot of times, and we all know a lot how older people are treated, at least in the states where we came from. It's like you're just looked over, you're an oversight, but you get a lot of respect here. The elders, they really respect their elders and they really take care. And it's so much of a family and community here. It's because I've had people ask us, well, do they have an elderly home, or do they have a place for people? Family. It's so family oriented that the older people, they're still with their young ones and things like that. And so that I really like, that I don't feel overlooked, and that I really like.
Yeah, I have two things that happened to me. I don't think you were with me with regards to the respect to elders. So one of them happened the other day when I ordered some fried chicken, and the young man came up on his boda or motorcycle, his delivering the fried chicken. And so before he's coming up on the porch, he pauses, he looks at me, and he says, "Shikamu." Shikamo.
Shikamo, yeah.
To which I reply, marahaba. In other words, he's taking time to really, to give the proper greeting for someone who's older. Yeah. Also, when I was at the outdoor food court the other day, and I was introducing our other son, Matthew, who Josiah was mentioning, he was here visiting. And so one of the young ladies at the ice cream part, who talks to us a lot and just trying to help us with Swahili and just sitting down talking culture. She's a great young lady. And so I said, "Oh, I want you to meet our son here." And because she had said hello to me. And so she leaned in and whispered to me, do I say mumble or do I say shikumo?
Yeah.
And she just whispered that real fast. And I answered her question. I was like, wow, that's kind of deep. I appreciate that. And so that's two examples.
Even with Daniel and I, like there is a lot of kind of decorum with like Evelyn's, like our new nieces and nephews on her side of the family. You know, they say shikamo to us as well, just as a greeting to elders. I was like, oh, I didn't know that, because it's just that space of time. We're still learning, but I just love observing it and seeing it just in action and whatnot.
Yeah, and they'll definitely help when it comes to, like, if we're eating food or something, they'll come and they'll take the dishes, or they'll help you, or they'll take your. But even when we're eating food, they'll take the dishes, or they'll help you with, like, if you want something to drink. And that always kind of makes me like, oh, let me make sure I'm being respected right now. Let me make sure I'm doing what I need to be doing.
Inspires you to like care for others as well, because they're just checking in little things like, do you need something else to drink? Have you had enough to eat? You know, Evelyn and Pendo, or sister, they're like, did you eat, Josiah, Daniel, Mama, Pop, did you eat? And it's like, you're not really supposed to say no, because they're supposed to say karibu, welcome to the table, welcome to my chapati, welcome to my chicken dinner, whatever the case may be. So
there was one time I was walking, there's like a playground near, and I had saw one of the nieces, and she had invited me up to say hi to her new friend, and was like, oh, this is so and so. And I was like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. She like said hello and stuff. I don't know, it's the little things that apply the piece for me too. Like that kind of brings down your blood pressure, and it's just nice, you know.
You guys sound like you're really talking a lot about culture. So Josiah, you want to say more about culture?
It's several things, but like that respect, you know, every culture is different. Dad, you taught us culture eats, what is it, strategy for breakfast, depending on where you're at. But I just love how y'all seem so at ease. I love how it shows up in the food, like everyone welcomes you. I had to get used to that. Like I'd be trying to say karibu with my food sometimes when I'm out or something, because we're American, we real individualistic. It's like, this is my food, these are my tacos.
Yes.
You can go get your own over there. But it does make me kind of think about others as well. There's, even with food, I like even seeing things like when we're driving out, I'll see like the barbecues on the side of the road. Maybe it's barbecue squid, maybe it's barbecue chicken or something. And
Yeah.
it's like every 10 feet or so it feels, and it just feels like everyone can get something to eat,
Mhm.
here on the road as night descends and the street lights come on and things like that, or even when it's just the afternoon.
Yeah, I would like to highlight one of the things that I like about the culture here on the continent is actually when we went to Johannesburg, South Africa. We have a whole playlist if you guys want to check that out. Was just the architecture that I saw in the buildings. It was almost like we were in 5 different counties or states from the USA. Just how wide and diverse that people like express themselves in the buildings. Everything is so beautiful. And even in the country we lived beforehand, that's up in the channel, Rwanda, a lot of the work in the houses, the like brick and marble, like on, like right now we're sat like in front of the house and we're on the front porch, but it like the ones in Rwanda, they're like marble front porch with like pillars and different things. Like it's just really beautiful, and that's one of the things I love here in the culture, that the architecture.
One of the huge things for me and Marlene together is the ability to, and why I want to stay here and why I have stayed here on the continent of Africa, which I guess is no different than saying I'm going to go to Europe.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
it's a continent, even
Yeah,
though
with
they
other
made it
countries,
up.
yeah.
Right.
But on the continent of Africa is the opportunity to build generational wealth. And so I'm talking about for our children's children, and that is a goal of ours. And there are things we've been able to do financially. You'd have to go to our members only if you want to hear all the details, but just suffice it to say, it's nice to have the opportunity here to live near the ocean, to outright own our place, to have our sons own places also, and to also be working toward like be in the middle of having a place in another country and consider some places in some other countries. And it just because the mindset is totally different. I'm sure U.S. citizens, sometimes called Americans,
Right.
North Americans anyway, that could include Canadians. But anyway, the U.S. citizens are kind of like blown away because most people have a $500,000 mortgage, and so
Yeah.
the bank owns
They own the
the
house.
property. Or the fact that I'm switching gears now. We were in a previous country, and for a couple of us guys to go out for the guys' night out, and we had that great food off the barbecue up on the roof.
On the roof of the hotel.
But what had happened was the owner of the hotel, who looked like us,
Mhm.
had this beautiful brand new. I did take you there right later on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, 12. I think it was 12 room hotel, brand new, beautiful, and in other words, our elbows were rubbing elbows
Yeah.
with these people,
Mhm.
and it's fabulous. These are not opportunities I necessarily had in the United States,
That's what I was gonna say.
as well as other investment opportunities that we've had. You have to have your wits about you,
Mhm.
and you have to be willing to do some research, do your due diligence. But the opportunities are there, as well as the wealth of just being stress free,
Mhm.
being able to exhale. So those are my reasons why I stay in Africa. You hit all of mine now.
Yeah, I also thought of that proximity and just appreciating a lot of the cultural differences of some of the countries that we've been to. And just again, just that access or that proximity. And like, we're also just Black when we're here. Like, no red carpet was necessarily rolled out for us, but that doesn't mean a lot of love and tenderness wasn't shown to us as well.
When you say that, it actually reminds me of this old cartoon, Static Shock, when he goes to the continent of Africa and he tells his friend Richie, he's like, "Man, I'm just a kid there, Richie. It's completely different."
Different.
And so that, yeah, I feel that. One of the highlights for me that I love here is just like the nature. Like mom
Absolutely.
has this joke that everything's Jurassic here, like the ants are huge and the bugs. I don't know. It's just it feels more alive.
Teeming with life.
Yeah,
Energetic.
exactly. Like we're at a different country where we used to live. The birds were just so beautiful.
A lot of different songbirds, different colors.
Yeah.
A lot of long tails. Kind of felt like you were in a fantasy world.
Oh yeah, please don't laugh at me. But I saw the bird from the Lion King. What's his name?
Zazu.
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 Yeah, and they'll be flying right over. Yeah,
Yeah,
the bright colors and so forth. So
I love that.
Yeah, and we've seen like red calabash monkeys. They'll come up and they've eaten the charcoal. I think they eat
They
the charcoal.
eat charcoal. That's right. They do. Or we've pet lions before,
Mhm.
or we've seen scorpions. It's
Yeah.
kind of wild, but it's kind of fascinating, isn't it?
yes.
You know.
Yeah, and it's just a lot of it's here. Some of it is on the safari, but a lot of it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like
Walking
normal,
around.
like it's nature. You know,
The geckos, we have a lot of multicolored geckos, different sizes and things like that. Where none are poisonous or anything. They haven't bothered us, but you'll see them on the doorposts. You'll see them in the trees. You'll see them run across the street.
We see a lot of snails
yeah, we do.
and very large. I mean, larger than your. I mean,
It's
very large.
humongous.
I've not. It's amazing. You'll look up and they're on a wall, or they're just anywhere, and they're very small, and then they're very very large, and the shells are beautiful.
Mhm.
So that has been, like we were saying, Jurassic, but that's really been different. One thing I wanted to say is the food and health wise, I guess I would say we're not dealing with GMAs and things like that, and so GMOs, excuse me, GMOs, and so I feel the food is more healthy, and so and they grow a lot. I mean, all you see around where we are is like pineapple trees, papaya, mango. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And so that aspect of it, I really, really like, that I don't have to be concerned about what I'm eating, and so that aspect I really like. And so you're eating more healthy and doing more fresh. And so that aspect of it, I really like.
I think we're just living life, right? What a concept! Like it's golden, right.
Jill Scott would say.
I-
Go ahead,
I-
Dan.
The foods here, the non-GMOs and stuff, everything feels more healthy and rich. I mean, we've gotten grapes that are like this big. Okay, I'm kind of far away from the camera, but like walnuts, like they're huge. And the cheese, we like cheese, okay? And you don't feel as gassy. I don't. It's just something you have to experience. It's
Because I want to tag off of
Yeah.
you. Remember when we went to Krugersdorp in South Africa, and we saw that farm that had apricots. I'd never had apricots before. And Cat Lego, shout out to Cat Lego.
Yeah.
She made preserves. Kind of, it was like stuff you said Grandma B used to make. And they had lemon trees, and they had strawberries and peaches. The air was crisp. It was quiet.
It was.
And it was fruity air. It was just aromatic air. And it was just good. Dad, you out here, we all are, Dad, dropping weight. Got us on moringa seeds, blood pressure down, and things like that. But we're just enjoying all of those things that are just making our blood healthy and our minds healthy.
Yeah, going back to what you were talking about in Krugersdorp, I don't know if I'm saying that right, in Joburg, it really was beautiful to see all of the fruit trees. There might have been over 70 fruit trees in that place.
It was huge property.
And I think what made it even more special was there were people living there, and there were children at the time. And it's like, wow, okay, so these kids get to wake up every day
To this.
and just
Jealous.
go pick off over these 70 fruit trees,
Swim in the pond
It's
and
beautiful.
everything. And they were away from like the loudness of the city and things like that. But they had that quality of life that we had. And I feel like I'm echoing Stephanie Perry again. You get to be a person. We're not saying we didn't have good memories in the United States, and a lot of our loved ones are still there. Shout out to all of you all. We love you. But you do get to be a person abroad, and we've experienced in various countries here on the continent just that humane spirit.
Well, folks, you heard it. It's why do people stay in Africa? And we are those people who have remained. We have stayed. We're going into 5 years plus here in a little bit, traveling around, going to go over to other countries and enjoy ourselves. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts are, what questions you might have. And we look forward to seeing you on the videos.